fourth step of the process is the catalyst, activating the catalyst. The catalyst is the spark that shifts us from hesitation and stagnation into action. A catalyst can come in many forms. It can come in the form of a question. It could come in the form of a person. It could come in the form of something you read in a book or listen to on a podcast. A catalyst can come from somebody coming up to you and saying, hey, I really think you're qualified for this opportunity. Why don't you apply? So a catalyst can come in many forms. And 17 years ago, a catalyst came into my life. At the time, I was a wellness coordinator at my company. I was just a couple of years out of college. The wellness coordinator, by the way, was a job that I made up. So I was just kind of going along with learning from different people like Rosie and figuring it out as I went. But I had this one client, and her name was Julie, and she was the HR director at her company, and she latched onto everything. This was in 2009, and she was eager to learn anything that I had to share. She's just one of those people who got it, and she cared so deeply about her people, and she was willing to experiment and try new things. And at one point, she said to me, hey, Rachel, I teach this class at a local college where I had gone to college, and we have a unit for these HR master students. We have a unit on workplace wellness. And she said, would you come speak to my class? I can pay you $75. I was like, I'm making about 40 grand a year. That is a fancy dinner at Outback. I'm here for this. But there was a little part of me that was like, what are you doing? You don't know how to teach master's students. You're 24 years old. You are the least educated person in the room. You don't even have a master's degree. You're not an expert in anything. Has this voice ever circulated in your head when someone invites you to do something and all you can tell yourself are all the ways you're not qualified and not good enough? But I realized I had a choice to make in that moment, and I was like, well, I could borrow her belief in me. She thinks I can do it. I'm going to say yes. So I said yes. I spoke at that class. I spoke at several classes after that. And just last Monday, at the Garden State, the New Jersey SHRM Conference, 17 years after that first invitation, Julie and I were the opening and closing keynotes at the same exact conference. This is the power of borrowed belief. This is what a catalyst can do. Who's been a Julie in your career? Who's been somebody who believed in you, who bet on you, who gave you a shot? Can you think of them? Somebody who gave you an opportunity before you thought you were qualified? Jot their name down and reach out to them in the next week and just say, hey, thank you for believing in me. Thank you for betting on me. Thank you for giving me a chance. These people that are catalysts are powerful, and we need to recognize them. What that experience taught me is something very, very important that has been a lesson that I've revisited over and over and over again in my career. When you have those moments where you feel unqualified and not ready and not worthy, here's what I want you to remind yourself of. An invitation is an indication of a qualification. An invitation is an indication of a qualification. You get invited into an opportunity, somebody thinks you're qualified. Even if it's only one other person. Borrow their belief in you and say yes. Bet on yourself. Believe that they see something you may not be able to see yet, and trust that. An invitation is an indication of a qualification. And for those of you that mentioned you struggle with imposter syndrome at times, when you have those moments where that doubt creeps in and tells you, like, they're about to find you out, you have no idea what you're doing, and everybody's going to know. You are not an imposter. You are in process. You are not an imposter. You're in process. You are figuring it out as you go. Guess what? So is literally everybody else. Let yourself be in that spot, because look, here's what I know. Nobody else ever has or ever will have the exact combination of strengths and skills and perspectives that you have. Nobody ever has had that combination. Nobody ever will have that combination in the future. So if you don't show up and give us what you've got, guess what? You are robbing the world of a contribution that only you can make. So in those moments where you want to be ruled by perfectionism, here's what I want you to know, is that people don't want your perfection. You know what they need? And you know what they want? Your perspective and your presence. Because only you have that. Don't mute that. Don't silence that.